Hey, what's going on, guys? Driven Dynamic here, and today I've got for you something different, something a little bit different from what we usually do. I've got here a Toyota CHR, the millennial's dream. You know, this is something that you get when you finally get that first fat juicy loan and you want to upgrade from your 1996 Toyota Camry to something that's a little bit more modern, something that you can take your family in, something that you can take your mum or your kids into school or drive to work in the inner city. This is the car that you get, the Toyota CHR. And I'm gonna go over the things that I like about this car, the things that I don't like about this car, and then I'm gonna go out there and drive it and give you a little bit of a driven dynamic experience behind the wheel and see what my personal thoughts are. A lot of enthusiasts seem to not like crossover SUVs. And you know, the main reason is because we look at these cars, you see them everywhere on the road, you know, they're boring cars, they all do the same thing. But I would like to argue that the Toyota CHR is doing something different. But man, just looking at this thing, it's not a bad looking car at all, you know? And I'd like to argue that the whole SUV, like the miniature SUV crossover segment, is actually kind of a good thing. I seem to want to drive this car more than I drive my own Honda Accord Euro. I love the Honda Accord Euro, it's fun, it's a cool car to drive, but this car, I can get behind the wheel and it's small, but I'm sitting upright, nice and high, so I feel like I'm with everyone else on the rest of the road, and it's a small enough car that you can actually, you know, maneuver around everywhere, you know, tight parking spaces or whatnot, driving around in the city. And it makes perfect sense why people love these cars so much. You look at the styling is great. You know, look at these cool little edges here that we've got over here, the turbo badge. It's a turbo, but this thing is so slow. And I genuinely think that this is just one of Toyota's best cars. You know, it's one of the best sellers, and I see why. I genuinely see why. Where's the door handle? So you look at the car and you think, okay, where's the door handle for this thing, you know? And then that's when you realize that the door handle for the car is actually right up here. Because obviously the coupe high riding in the name, they wanted to try and do a little bit of a, I don't know what they're trying to do here, but they did it. And it looks kind of cool, but I don't know why these guys are doing all this these days. It's just, anyway. But let's, you know, sitting inside the CHR in the back seat, it's a small car, but I've got room. This is where I'm sitting, and you know, I've got plenty of room. I've got a nice cup holder here. You know, I've got some random storage compartment here that I could probably fit like maybe a few coins or something. People don't use coins anymore, but you know, I could do that. And you got this pretty cool, like, triangular diamond shaped pattern here. It's plastic, so it doesn't feel nice, but it's a cool touch to say the least. All right, and we sit in the driver's seat of the Toyota CHR, and I've got a bone to pick with this car because it's 2023. This is a 2016 model, but it's 2023, and this is the top of the range model. This has got the all-wheel drive. This is, you know, this is the Cobra model. This is the top of the range at the time, and I have manual seats. Look, I'm nitpicking, but I don't want to be, you know, I hop in the car and I'm like, oh, I gotta go. Someone else has been driving the car. I don't like that. I like to have the little, you know, the 1-2 button, the memory seating position. I just press the button. I'm just like, the work is done for me. But, you know, that's just one of the things that I have to pick with this car. You've also got 2 cup holders in here, and it kind of works. It works, you know, like your standard water bottle, McDonald's, that'll be fine. But you know, for anything bigger, you're kind of gonna have to maybe put it somewhere else, maybe in the passenger seat or something like that. But it holds. But when you're trying to change gears, it doesn't work all that well. Steering wheel's a little bit on the firm side. It's a little bit squishy, but it's been on the firm side. So you know, beggars can't be choosers. I mean, as well as that, we've got heated front seats in here as well. Like, they're good. They work, man. They're hot. Like, my bum gets really toasty when I sit on these and I have it on the full setting, like the full number 3 bars. And yeah, it's good, man. I like it. That same diamond pattern thing here is also going on, and here as well, up on the light. They got some, I don't know the thing with triangles when they were designing this car, because they really love triangles. There's triangles everywhere. Other than that, you know, it's pretty basic functions that you've got in here. You know, you've got the electric parking brake as well. You've got, you know, lane departure assist, radar cruise control, which is all pretty standard stuff of today. You've got an infotainment screen here as well. I do know the later models do come with Apple CarPlay. This one here doesn't specifically, but they did have that feature in the later cars as well. Everything in here is pretty much plastic, which is it's okay. It doesn't feel terribly awful, but it doesn't feel great either. You know, everything to touch is not the best. The shift knob, I actually quite like the shift knob. It's nice, a little aluminium head here with the leather. It's not bad. This car does come with a 1.2 liter CVT, so it's pushing about 88 kilowatts of power, I believe. If I'm wrong, I'll put it down here, but it's around 88 kilowatts of power. It's slow, and it's a CVT as well, so it's like you're not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. But it's smooth. It is a smooth engine. The CVT, the transmission is also very smooth as well. You can just hop in the car and it just glides on the road. It's really good. And another thing that I really like about this car is like it's really sporty. Obviously it's a Toyota with a CVT. It's not that sporty, but it feels athletic to say the least. Like when I drive this car and I turn it, it's so like instant. The steering's really light, which is more of a thing for the everyday person. You know, you want to have a light steering, you know, that's what you want. But it feels precise. You know, you turn the wheel, it's snappy, you know, it's athletic. You can push the car through corners and it handles it. There's not much body roll. There's obviously body roll, but it's a manageable body roll. It's like it just leans into the corners, you know. It's a great car, and obviously you got that all-wheel drive system as well, and it's just everything just works, and it's genuinely quite a good car that Toyota has built here. Boot space is pretty good as well on this thing. It's not bad. Like, let's say for example, I've just done a bit of grocery shopping, because that's what people with CHRs do. They go grocery shopping and whatnot, and I don't know, pick up kids from school. I've got 3 bags in here. Kind of a little bit limited, you know. I've got 3 bags in here, and I haven't really got that much space left in this cabin, in this trunk. It's all right, you know. You could maybe fit like 1 or 2 suitcases, but it's not something that you would really take for you know, like a long road trip kind of thing, because there's not really that much space in the boot. So driving the Toyota CHR, what's the experience like? You know, what does it feel like driving this car? First impressions, it's pretty smooth, man. Like, just the way that the CVT works, the way that the engine moves, it's a very smooth experience. It just feels very linear to describe it. Obviously, when you put your foot down, nothing happens. Like, I put my foot down now. I guess you feel a little bit of the CVT working. Yeah, it works. The turbo, you can hear the turbo whistle a little bit, which is pretty cool, but other than that, it's not fast. That's all I can say. I mean, where this car really shines, in my personal opinion of a car enthusiast, is more so when you're pushing it through corners. It seems to be, as I mentioned before, it's actually a very athletic car. The body roll is very minimal. It just kind of goes with what you're doing. If you point it in a direction, it will go in that direction, which I really love. As I mentioned before, I'm not a big fan of the steering. The steering is pretty light. It is very light, but for the average person, you know, it's perfectly fine. It's all good. The steering wheel is a little bit on the firm side, which I don't like. I like something, you know, I like a nice wheel, you know, I like a nice steering wheel. That's what I'm touching, like, pretty much the entire time I drive a car. So I want to have a nice feeling steering wheel. This one, it's not that great. It's obviously does the job, but it could be better. Other than that, you know, you can sit, you know, you got your elbow here, you got your another elbow place to sit, you know, put your elbows. It's nice, you know. It feels really good. it's a really nice car. Like, it just feels like a good place to be in. You got plenty of headroom. Like, it's just a nice cabin. I do think the rear visibility is a little bit on the side. It could be better. The rear visibility, it's obviously because of the coupe design that they try to do, it's kind of sacrificed a little bit of rear visibility space, especially in that blind spot. Just you know, I'm looking there in the blind spot. It's a pretty big area, but it's not too bad. It's definitely not bad. Like, you can live with it. Plus, you've got the blind assist monitoring thing as well on the side, which lights up orange when there's a car next to you. It won't save you every time, but it saves you like most of the time anyway, so it's fine. It's not a big deal. We've got a light here, and I'm gonna launch it, and it's the lane ends, okay? So it's a split lane, and I've got a Hyundai i30 right next to me, so we're gonna see how this car performs on the straight line speed. Okay, I've hit 40, I've hit 60, I've hit 80, I'm still not at 100. Okay, I've just hit 100. So it's not a fast car at all. It is pretty slow. You hear the CVT doing its thing, and it's not fast. Like, you don't buy this car to go fast. You buy it because it's a nice, you know, nice small economic daily driver that you can use. So it does the job, right? It does the job. It's not perfect, but yeah. Overall, like, the ride is very smooth. It kind of just, I wouldn't say wafts, because it is on low profile tires. It's on brake. I don't know why the car just told me to brake. But yeah, I don't know why I did that, but it's silly. That's a thing to note. But overall, this really smooth ride. Like, the CVT, like, it's so effortless. You can't, like, there's no jerkiness or anything like that from it. I have noticed sometimes there's a little bit of jerkiness when you're launching it from like you're kind of slowing down and you need to put your foot down. There's sometimes a little bit of a delay from the engine and the transmission, which I don't like, but it doesn't happen that often. Most of the time, like, I'm driving now, it's nice and smooth. There's nothing really going on, you know. It's a good place to be. Overall, those are my thoughts and impressions on the Toyota CHR. You know, it's a good car for what it is. You know, it's a nice small little crossover SUV that you can drive and turn left and turn right, and it's got leather seats and heated seats, and it's slow, but it's fuel efficient. What can I say? It's a good car for the average everyday person that just wants something that they can drive to work, or, you know, drop the kids off at school, or the young millennial that's just gotten their hands on a nice juicy loan and wants to finally upgrade their old 2002 Toyota Corolla for something a little bit more modern. This is it. This is what you get.